Yes, welcome to another short edition of the No State Project. I'm your host, Mark Stevens, author of Government Indicted. The website is, of course, markstevens.net. I mentioned on this broadcast the trifecta of hate that I had two success stories that I was going to be doing videos for and posting here at the success story part of markstevens.net, which is oh, I used the same two there. Oh, well, they were two charges thrown out. I'm actually got something today, so it's not actually two more tickets that were thrown out. It is three. So we'll have this posted, of course, right here at markstevens.net. Further evidence of just how effective the Socratic method is and why it's so important just to challenge them, not to take the ticket standing down, just stand up to them. Because we know some of the tickets are thrown out just because we are launching an effective defense. Okay, but the merits of the defense stand on their own. It's no different than, let's say, the Fourth Amendment is an excellent tactic to use to get criminal charges thrown out. Doesn't always, but that doesn't mean it's not an effective strategy to use to get something tossed out. So let's get to the actual documents here. This came in just today, and it's from the Superior Court in Los Angeles. It is traffic. Sebastian sent this to me. And he did file the motion to dismiss and the demur and the request for judicial notice, and of course the Brady request. And it seems that the police officer, according to Sebastian, had actually gotten the statute wrong and had filed to change that on the complaint. Nonetheless, it was thrown out. Now, it may be said that it was thrown out because the police officer put the wrong statute down and he got a number or two transposed. I don't know, and he did file to correct that. Usually, that is held as a harmless error. Now, could the judge have thrown it out based on that? Yeah, he could have. Could have done that to avoid getting into the issue of actual evidence that the police officer is required to have. But here, your case has been dismissed as of 10/17/2017. No further action needed. So appreciate that. Again, this is Sebastian getting traffic thrown out in Los Angeles, the Superior Court of California, right there. So. Good. Hey, congratulations to Sebastian, and appreciate him sending that to me. We'll move to the next one. We actually have a dismiss. This is fantastic. Jesse, he did the photo. He did some of the Photoshop. He redacted his personal information, but this is coming out of Maryland, and this is actually pretty cool because. And I actually did this Photoshop part. I did the highlighting, so yeah, it's some serious Photoshopping. So he filed a motion to dismiss and the Brady request. Of course, there's a lot of charges here. It's all traffic, though. Instead of providing the actual evidence and meeting their burden of proof, the prosecution filed a nolo prosequi, which is are opting to not prosecute. Maybe because they don't have a shred of evidence to support their claim that these laws actually apply to Jesse, just because he's physically in Maryland there. So we can see that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like 6 charges. So yeah. That's pretty. Hey, look, again, if the prosecution had the damn evidence, they would just present it and get a slam dunk code violation, prosecution, and conviction, but they didn't. Instead, they just withdrew. So, congratulations, of course, to Jesse for having the decency and the principles to stand up to these predators and getting all of them tossed out. A nolo prosequi again. We've got a lot of these nolo prosequis. And then this one actually came to me. Somebody in Ruben, so big congratulations to Ruben. And this, I believe he had contacted me off of from one of the other videos of the broadcast, the No State Project, and so that he had gotten something tossed out. And he wound up he sent me the document, which is really cool. Again, notice of nolo prosequi comes now. Cassandra Rogers, assisting prosecuting attorney for the county of Boone and state of Missouri, enters a nolo prosequi by the state in the above captioned case. Well, it's the above captioned complaint. If there was a case, they wouldn't have any reason to withdraw. And I take issue of a prosecutor sullying the good Irish name of Rogers, but we'll let that go. They did the right thing here, and they did dismiss. So I do appreciate that. Again, I keep saying the biggest thing here is that more people, at least in my scope of influence, are not taking these tickets lying down. They're not taking these allegations sitting there. They're not just making a deal. They're actually standing up for themselves and putting forth an effective defense, which is challenging the prosecution here, Cassandra Rogers, challenging their claims that whether they have evidence to support their allegations or not. And here, like with all the other ones we've worked on, there isn't a single shred of evidence to support their legal conclusion, their legal claim that just because you're physically in Missouri, their magical constitution and laws actually apply to you and me and create obligations. Because if Cassandra, Miss Rogers here, had she had the evidence that Rubin had mentioned in the motion to dismiss was not there, she would have just provided it. And there was also, of course, the discovery request, which was not responded to either. Again, the fact not appearing is presumed not to exist. If they had the evidence, they would just provide it. So big congratulations to Rubin, and of course, thank you for sending me the documents to be able to post. I will get these here at markstevens.net under the ever-growing success story page, where I only provide documents such as this where we can verify that the tickets have been thrown out. I gotta look at Jesse's again. Because look at that. Oh, fantastic. Absolutely great. And real quick, before we end this video, I do want to point out, I unlike critics, I do allow that these were tossed out for no other reason than a defense period was launched. Not that the prosecution or the cop or the judges thought that there was any merit to it. However, I'm going by the circumstantial evidence, which is strong in the history, the pattern that we've seen develop over the past 10, 12, 15 years, that would they have done this if it was not for the motion to dismiss that was showing that, or pointing out that evidence which is absolutely necessary to be provided has not been provided, and that the prosecution lacked a witness with personal first-hand knowledge, because if the evidence isn't there, they can't have personal knowledge of it. So keep that in mind if there's a criticism that only allows one and only one explanation to something. Anyone who says that there's only one single explanation, that is suspect. There are other explanations, and you have to look at the evidence, direct or circumstantial. Here, all we have is circumstantial evidence. Pretty damn high circumstantial evidence, though. But for the motion to dismiss, would they have dismissed? And I